Ukraine's President, Volodymyr Zelensky, is warning that he expects imminent bombing against the nation's third largest city, that is Odessa, in the south on the Black Sea coast.
Росіяни завжди приїжджали в Одесу.
They are preparing to bomb Odessa. Russian people always used to come to Odessa, and they only knew warmth and generosity. And what's now? Artillery, bombs against Odessa. This will be a war crime. This will be historical crime.
CNN international security editor Nick Payton-Walsh is in Odessa, and you have really twin concerns there. You and I have been talking about over recent days. One is the possibility of an amphibious invasion in the south, but now this prospect, the president warning of a bombing campaign, which we've seen on so many cities. How is the city preparing?
Well, I don't know if you can still hear the air raid sirens we've heard a couple of times during today. No explosions to accompany them, but it shows you really, I think, how President Zelensky's warning is being taken to heart here. Certainly that's been the case for a number of days. It's unquite clear where the Ukrainian president got that information from. This was imminent. It might just be that there's been a general sense of building concern here, that because of the pressure militarily along the Black Sea coast, on which this is the sort of furthest West End port city, that there might be, this place being the ultimate goal for Russia, some sort of military operation in the offing here. An amphibious landing has been discussed repeatedly. There doesn't appear at this stage to be something imminent like that happening here. It'll be very hard to tell, but we are seeing along the coast a lot of back and forth. Certainly Kherson and the furthest eastern port city along that Black Sea coast. There's been a lot of civil disobedience protests after that was the first city Russia took a few days ago, and we saw yesterday ourselves over the weekend and heard of this morning continued clashes around a key city called Mykolaiv. That's right in the centre, frankly, of the Black Sea coast area we're talking about. Now, this morning there were reports of shelling hitting residential buildings. We've seen some images of that, and I spoke to a hospital official who said that it killed one and injured three. That's probably not the full picture, but also, too, during the day there was a sort of brief moment of optimism from the regional governor, Vitaly Kim, who posted on Telegram a message saying that the Russians had been pushed back, but just in the last few minutes it appears that the initial success the Ukrainians had seen in retaking the airport may now not be entirely complete, and there may still be some clashes around there as well. The point here, Jim, though, is that these pushes into Mykolaiv seem clumsy, they're repeated. It's unclear if one of them will actually have success, finally, and it's also unclear quite what these Russian forces will do if they manage to find themselves in the middle of this populated, busy, very anti-Russian city. A lot of heavy shelling we saw hitting suburban areas, frankly, residential homes, the signs of cluster munitions and the parts of the munitions that were left behind there. So clear brutality as we see this Russian advance, and the end game plan, that still remains unclear. We just don't really know quite what their strategy is, if they're intending to try and occupy cities after intense bombardment. Nowhere more concerned about that than Odessa here, Jim.
And no concern, or certainly less concern over time, about those civilian casualties. Nick Payton-Walsh, thanks so much.